Ashish, you cut it at a very wrong point. The next sentence, Suhel, आप ही बोल दो कि क्या
So
response था.
when I told Prince Charles, I said, Mr. Tata's dog has fallen ill and he can't leave the dog alone. And Prince Charles said, this is a true man. Because as you know, Prince Charles, Queen Elizabeth, they're all very, very pet friendly, pet loving, they're a pet loving family. But also, Madhuri, what happened was, there was an indication in Prince Charles's comment that character is bigger than getting an award or getting a felicitation. And that character is shown in the most minor ways, in the most minute ways, when you least expect it. जब आपको कोई एक्सपेक्टेशन नहीं है और एक आदमी या एक महिला अगर अपने कैरेक्टर का दिखावा करे एक छोटी छोटी बात से, उसमें जो आपको प्रभाव पड़ता है वो प्रभाव कहीं और पड़ेगा.
हाँ, इसमें दो राय नहीं, क्योंकि इतना बड़ा माना जा रहा है ऑनर ऐसा, और उसके लिए तो लोग भी बच्चों को छोड़ के भी चले जाएं. Most people wouldn't mind if their own children were sick and dying, but they would run. और एक पेट डॉग के लिए, और ऐसे घर में जहाँ जाहिर है बहुत से असिस्टेंट्स होंगे, घर को देखने वाले, कुत्तों की सेवा करने वाले और बाकी सभी करने वाले, तो ऐसा तो हो नहीं सकता कि रतन टाटा के पास कोई और था नहीं. How do you explain this? Was it just indifference or this passionate love for somebody who invested his all in people other than his own family because he never had children?
I think it's a great question. You have to understand the man. You and I refer to them as dogs. I'm a pet lover. I've been a pet lover all my life. For him, they are not pet dogs, they are family. And he believes whoever's with him, whether it is his help at home, whether it is his driver, they are part of his immediate family. And that's how he treats people within the group. आपको पता नहीं याद होगा कि उन्हें एक इंस्टाग्राम पे एक फोटो, एक तस्वीर डाली थी जहाँ पे एक आदमी ताज के बाहर एक छतरी लेके एक डॉग के ऊपर बारिश प्रिवेंट करने के लिए एक छत लेके खड़ा हुआ है. एंड मिस्टर टाटा रीच आउट टू हिम. क्योंकि मधुरी एक बात है, अगर हम इंसान हैं और अगर जानवरों की हम कदर नहीं कर सकते तो हमारे और जानवरों के बीच में क्या अंतर होगा. नंबर 1. नंबर 2, जैसे कि आपने सही कहा कि उनके पास सब कुछ है, पर हर मनुष्य के पास सब कुछ कभी नहीं होता. उनका परिवार, उनका निजी परिवार वो परिवार है जो उनके साथ रहता है, जो उनके घर में काम करता है, जो उनके साथ जीवन बिताता है, और उसमें टीटो और टेंगो भी शामिल है. आपके लिए और मेरे लिए वो पेट होंगे और उनके लिए वो परिवार थे और हैं. मैं आपकी बात बोलूं, अभी कुछ दिन पहले ही उन्होंने अपने एक जो मरे थे एक कुत्ते की एनिवर्सरी सेलिब्रेट की, कि मुझे याद आ रहा है, टीटो याद आ रहा है, आज वो 14 वर्ष का होता. तो ये जो अहमियत देते हैं, इस अहमियत में सिर्फ कैरेक्टर ही नहीं, but the approach of the group comes visible. So to my mind, compassion is not what Madhuji or Suhel does. Compassion is also how we treat everyone, especially animals. And one last thing, Madhuji, अगर आप लंदन में पार्क स्ट्रीट पे जाएं तो आप देखेंगे एक मेमोरियल है. It is a memorial for animals who died in World War II. And below that is a beautiful line. They died full stop because they had no choice. That to my mind sums up compassion, it sums up empathy, it sums up everything else.
It also sums up our attitude of treating animals and of even human beings
Absolutely
as instruments of our plans and our agendas without care for their agency. तो ये तो बात जैसे मैंने कहा मेरे बहुत दिल को छू गई, क्योंकि अगर वैसे कोई प्राइवेटली इतना केयर करे, ऐसे मैं बहुत से लोग जानती हूँ जो अपने पेट डॉग्स के साथ बहुत प्यार करते हैं. मेरे घर में कुछ ऐसे लोग हैं, परंतु जो इवेंट की आप बात कर रहे हैं ना, एक इंटरनेशनल ऑनर मिल रहा है और उसको छोड़ के आप नहीं जाते, तो वो कुछ और ही कहानी बताती. ये कैसे रिफ्लेक्ट किया ये हाउस ऑफ टाटास के सारे एम्पायर बिल्डिंग में ये जो पॉलिसी है रतन.
So I think you raised a very, very pertinent question. Let's go back in time. Today, the group is 153 years old, 153, 154 years old. The founder was a gentleman called Jamshedji Nasarwanji Tata. Jamshedji Tata began his career and said that, look, my purpose of business is not business, it's to give back. The seeds of philanthropy, the seeds of community engagement were sown then. He said of Jamshedpur, he said, if you plant trees, they will last many, many years. If you plant men and women, they will outlast everything. I'll give a small example, जो लोगों को नहीं पता मुझे, और ये आश्चर्य की बात है कि हमारे देश में हम वॉरेन बफेट और बिल गेट्स को इतनी अहमियत देते हैं, यानी कि जो हमारे जमशेदपुर में हुआ, जो टाटा स्टील ने किया, वो मैं आपको एक उदाहरण देता हूँ. टाटा स्टील पृथ्वी भर में पहली कंपनी थी और है जिसने 5-day वीक इंट्रोड्यूस की, मटर्निटी लीव इंट्रोड्यूस की, प्रोविडेंट फंड इंट्रोड्यूस किया, विमेन वर्कफोर्स और शॉप फ्लोर इंट्रोड्यूस किया. Tata Steel was the first company to do this across the world. Number 1. Number 2, Tata Trusts आज एक 128 साल का हो गया. They have been functioning for 128 years. बिल गेट्स और वॉरेन बफेट तक पैदा ही नहीं हुए थे. The give back is in their blood. Today, Tata Trust owns 66% of Tata Sons. और एक खूबी है, जब साइरस मिस्ट्री चेयरमैन बने, उस टाइम there was a huge shake up and the culture shook very, very badly. That I'll be honest with you. Today, the good thing is we have N. Chandrasekharan as the chairman of Tata Sons. Chandra began his career as an intern in TCS and rose the ranks. He comes from a small village. Madhuji, it also tells you कि in Ratan Tata's eyes, pedigree does not matter. आप कहाँ पैदा हुए, that doesn't matter. आप कहाँ पढ़े लिखे, that doesn't matter. What matters is merit. What also matters is your values. What also matters is your architecture, human architecture. अब जब बॉम्बे हाउस रेनोवेट हुआ तब चंद्रा चेयरमैन था और अभी भी चंद्रा चेयरमैन है. चंद्रा knew how the group behaves, what the group believes in. आप बॉम्बे हाउस जाइए, जो हेडक्वार्टर्स है होमी मोदी स्ट्रीट पे, और आपको पहली चीज नजर आएगी, there is a functioning kennel, Madhuji, in the lobby of Bombay House. Any stray dog, anyone can come in, have a meal, get groomed, get washed. आप मेरे को बोलिए कितनी कंपनीज पृथ्वी भर में ऐसा करेंगी? नहीं करेंगी. एक बात है, हम बोलते हैं कि मुझे विश्वास है, मुझे ये है, मुझे वो है. विश्वास रखने से बात नहीं बनती. बात तब बनती है कि विश्वास को अगर आप एक ऐसा मैजिक दे और एक ऐसी रियलाइजेशन दे, एक ऐसा इम्प्लीमेंटेशन दे, तब आके बात बनती है. एंड द टाटा, स्पेशली रतन एंड नाउ चंद्रा, दे आर वॉकिंग द टॉक. दे आर नॉट सेइंग टू प्लीज यू मर्जी और प्लीज मी. They genuinely believe in this. You see, I've been privileged. मेरी सैलरी 650 रुपए थी 1990 में. I was a management trainee with Ogilvy and Mather. That's when I started working with the Tatas through Tata Steel. उसमें रूसी मोदी चेयरमैन होते थे. 2 साल बाद में 1992-93 रतन टाटा took over. Now, तो आपने बढ़िया सा टॉपिक बनाया है, Tata the house at Ratan built. At that time, the Tatas were more of a domestic India-based company. He then spread the wings of the Tatas. He always said, it is not the wings of the Tatas. I'm spreading the wings of the competent, meritorious, deserving Indian. And that's what he did. And that, to my mind, was the most important thing. And I think if we believe in all these things will work beautifully. But the point, Guruji, is a lot of people in India have done that. आप अगर मनुस्मृति की बात करें 3800 साल पहले, मनु ने पहले दान शब्द का इस्तेमाल किया था. दान हमारे अंतरात्मा में है, हम में समाया है. हम फिर भी ये बोलते हैं बिल गेट्स एंड वॉरेन बफेट टॉट द वर्ल्ड हाउ टू गिव बैक.
इसके दो राय नहीं कि हम सिर्फ हमारे संस्कार में डीएनए में है. और मुझे याद है मेरी दादी कहा करती थी कि जो व्यक्ति या जो परिवार अपनी इनकम का एक नियमित हिस्सा दान में नहीं दे रहे हैं, और वो बिल्कुल क्या बोलते हैं विदाउट एक्सपेक्टेशन, दान वैसा नहीं कि वो अपने इनकम टैक्स बचाने के लिए कर रहे हैं, नेकी कर कुएं डाल वाला, ऐसा घर वो कहती थी is akin to a house without drainage system, जिसमें परनाला नहीं है, जिसमें ड्रेनेज नहीं है. आप जितना बढ़िया मर्जी आलिशान बंगला बना लो, अगर उसमें ड्रेनेज सिस्टम नहीं है तो वो घर रह जाएगा. It just will lapse. तो ये उनका मुझे याद है. और there's another thing that she should say, you have to practice it every day. दान देना नहीं है साल के एंड में आपने अपने हिसाब ठीक करने. और मुझे एक बहुत अच्छी कहानी याद आ रही है. इंसिडेंट में अमेरिका में थी, जैन फैमिली के साथ कुछ दिन रुकना हुआ. I'd gone there for lecture. They were hosting me. And that Jan mother told me the story. How उनकी सासू माँ ने बच्चों में रोज दान की महत्व बताई. वो कैसे कि स्कूल जाने से पहले उनको रोज टक मनी मिलती है ना, बच्चों को पॉकेट मनी, तो माँ देती थी. तो दादी इंसिस्ट करती थी कि ये गुल्लक में ये दान के लिए आपने डालना है. तो बच्चे चिढ़ते भी थे और उनकी माँ भी कहती थी भैया आप ना महीने में एक बार डलवा लिया, तो सुबह सुबह उनको मत दो. And then the dad explained, no, before they spend money on their own snacks in school or their ice cream, whatever, they must first every day practice giving before consuming. Absolutely. I blew my mind that story. And that practicing is like, अच्छा अगर आपको म्यूजिशियन बना है तो रोज आपको डांस करना पड़ेगा. तो अच्छा इंसान बना है तो रोज आपको देना और अनकंडीशनली देना सीखना पड़ेगा. अब मैं देख रही हूँ हमारे बहुत से व्यूअर्स के ऑलरेडी कमेंट्स आए हुए हैं. वो कुछ सवाल मेरे दिमाग में भी है. I come back to his management strategy, how he handles people. आपने कुछ चीजें तो बताई कि कैसे social welfare measures अपने स्टाफ के लिए they've always been ahead of time, not just for India but globally. All right, granted. But दो तीन चीजें जो सवालों में आ रही है मेरे दिमाग में भी है. Even the way the Parsi community came to India, seeking refuge from a very tyrannical regime in Persia, where their very survival was made impossible. और यहाँ कैसे उनको खुला माहौल मिला और they prospered like nowhere else. तो कहीं भी चले जाते हैं, यूरोप में भी कर सकते हैं, उस वक़्त वो माहौल नहीं था, जब वो हिंदुस्तान में आए। परंतु मेरे जितने भी पारसी दोस्त हैं, वो सभी के सभी आज मैं देखती हूँ प्रो कॉमी, प्रो इस्लाम, एंटी हिंदू और बहुत ही विरुलेंट फॉर्म में दे सीम टू हैव नो मेमोरी ऑफ देयर ओन कम्युनिटीज हिस्टोरिक एक्सपीरियंस कि हाँ हिंदू फासिस्ट नहीं होते, कैसे को और ये जो बीमारी है कमेंट्स में दिख रही है कि टाटा के जो इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं उसमें भी दिखती है। बहुत से लोग कह रहे हैं टिस जो है इट इज मतलब बिहार का अड्डा बन पड़ा है। जैसे इस वो जो टुकड़े टुकड़े गैंग की हम बात कर रहे हैं, ये तो जेएनयू एक्सटेंशन काउंट बना हुआ उस लिहाज से। और उसके अलावा भी कभी जो हमारे इस देश में सिविलाइजेशनल कंसर्न्स हैं और हिंदू समाज के प्रति जो एक होना चाहिए सद्भावना का विचार वो नहीं दिखता इनके किसी ट्रस्ट में या इनका किस जालिम संस्था है। जैसे इट्स लाइक एन एक्सटेंशन काउंटर ऑफ भारत तेरे टुकड़े होंगे इंशाल्लाह इंशाल्लाह माइंडसेट ऑफ जेएनयू।
So let me begin at the beginning. Swami Vivekananda and Jamshedji Tata met on the ship when they were sailing from India towards London, and Swami was going off to America. The concept of the Indian Institute of Science was born out of that meeting. It's a documented fact. If you read any book on Swami Vivekananda, आपको ये पता चलेगा. Indian Institute of Science was started by the Tatas, funded by the Tatas, gifted to the nation.
Yeah.
Tata Institute of Social Sciences, इसका जिक्र कर रहे हैं, the same. Tata Memorial, the first multi-speciality dedicated to cancer hospital, same. Tata Institute of Fundamental Research, same. NCPA, the National Center for Performing Arts in Bombay, the same. पर आप ये हैरानी आपको होगी, मैं जो अभी आपको कहने वाला हूँ. If Ratan Tata wants, he cannot get a ticket at NCPA for a show. They have zero control. There is no control. I'll tell you. There's no control over this. There is no control over Indian Institute of Science. These controls were given and handed over to the government in the mid 70s. अब अगर टिस की ट्रस्टीशिप देखिए, टिस का बोर्ड देखिए, there is no single Tata nominee. There is no single Tata nominee in NCPA. That is the way. Maji, everyone doesn't function in the same way. अगर कोई और होता, he would insist कि लाइफ टाइम के लिए मेरा एक आदमी या मेरे दो आदमी आपके बोर्ड पे रहेंगे. But that's not the way Tatas are built. The Tatas built this in the service of the nation, gave it to the nation. Now, coming to the second question of yours about the Parsi. Field Marshal Manushi was known more patriotic and more Indian.
Absolutely.
जितने पार्सीज आप बोल रहे कि भाई प्रो इस्लाम है, ये है पार्सीज में एक चीज है, फॉर देम रिलीजन इज अनइम्पोर्टेंट, व्हाट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इज ह्यूमन वैल्यू. एंड नॉट ऑल पार्सीज आर रिच. यू सी द वे पार्सीज आर लुकिंग आफ्टर द एजेड पार्सीज, whether it's in Kushrobag, whether it's in Dadar, in the Parsi colony, whether it's in the multiple hospitals. But those hospitals don't only treat Parsis or don't treat only Parsis. My point is, हम एक ऐसे मुकाम पे पहुंच गए हमारे देश में कि we are finding, and you're absolutely right, but we are finding holes in everything and we're becoming cynical and bitter. And as you rightly said, ये comments भी आ रही हैं. Half the people who are making these comments don't even know the facts. And it's not a fault. These facts should have been communicated. But who are we to communicate? I mean, who's the Tatas to communicate? वो एक पुरानी कहावत मेरी दादी जी भी कहती थी, निकी कर कुएं में डाल. एक 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 व्यू पॉइंट है कि भाई why do you relinquish control? The other viewpoint is we are not in the business of running NCPA. Today मैं आपको बोलता हूँ, there are no cancer facilities that have been set up by the Tatas and by anyone else, including in Varanasi. आप बनारस में जाके देखिए जो टाटा ने कैंसर सेंटर सेटअप किया है. Today Tata Trusts are giving away almost 674 crores per annum. And it is not to the so-called commie or the leftists or anything. There is a program they did in partnership with Google called Internet Sathi. That was for women empowerment, to tell women in rural India how to get on the internet and make their life easier, whether it was for procurement, for information, for entertainment. Now, my point is that it's very easy for all of us. और हर कम्युनिटी में दोष है. मैं एक बहुत प्राउड हिंदू हूँ, हमारे कम्युनिटी में भी दोष होगा. तो मेरी बात
नहीं, दोष हम दोष इस तरह नहीं ढूंढ रहे, हर कम्युनिटी में दोष होगा. आप देखिए ना, एक कहावत होता है जैसे 100 साल 150 साल पहले तक सिख और हिंदू इनसेपरेबल, एक ही परिवार में एक गिरफ्तारी है, एक सहकारी. पंजाब में
हिंदुइज्म से निकला सिखिज्म,
नहीं, उसी का सनातन जमा ही है. और ये सारे देवी पूजक थे, नाम भी इनके गोविंद है. नाम भी अगर देखिए हमारे गुरुओं के, तो उसमें कोई भी ऐसा नहीं कि कोई अलग स्पीशीज से निकले हुए हैं नाम.
करेक्ट.
और चंड के उस उपासक थे गुरु गोविंद सिंह, नानक जी के उसमें भी शिव भक्ति है, राम नाम से भरा हुआ है. परंतु देखिए ना, जो भाव हुआ है, जो खालिस्तानी मोड़ आया या 19th सेंचुरी 20th सेंचुरी है, अंग्रेजों ने जैसे सिखों को अलग करने की जो षड्यंत्र करी, वो चलती गई. और आज एक पॉलिटिक्स उठ खड़ी हुई है जिसमें हम हिंदू नहीं है वाले आवाजें बहुत शार्प पंजन तरीके से प्रहार कर रही. इसी किस्म से पारसी भी आप अनेक चौकी जनरेशन कहते हैं, उस तक या सोली सोराब की जनरेशन तक ही ये
Fali Nariman,
नहीं थी।
Fali
वाली
Nariman,
बिल्कुल
Fali Nariman has been the protector of the Indian Constitution and therefore of the average Indian's rights more than anyone else. अब आपको मैं एक उदाहरण देता हूँ जो आप हैरान हो जाएंगे. Ratan Tata is one of the most avowed believers in Tirupati. Do you believe it?
नो
Mr. Krishna Kumar and Ratan Tata have been more times to Tirupati than I have, and I'm a great believer in Balaji. तो ये सी बात ये मधुरी लोग कहते नहीं है उसका मतलब होता नहीं, ये सच नहीं है. Number one. Number two, as you rightly said, there are many people hijacking all agenda. Some people hijacking a religious agenda, some people hijacking a political agenda, some people hijacking a social agenda. But the point is, when you're hijacking these agendas, do you lose your core values? और मेरे कहने का मतलब है, अगर आप Tatas को देखिए, the core values have remained unchanged. Because their selection is not based on what religion you are from, what is your caste, what is your creed, what is your gender. It is based on merit. And there is no finer example than Chandrasekharan, who stayed the chairman of Tata Sons, avowed Hindu. के कृष्ण कुमार जो पहले थे अवाउड हिंदू, यानी कि कोई ये बोला था कि आप हिंदू धर्म का क्यों पालन कर रहे हैं, आप क्यों ये विश्वास करते हैं, नहीं
वो मान लिया। आपकी बात सही है और मैं इसी आपको इनवाइट किया क्योंकि बहुत लोगों के दिमाग में इंक्लूडिंग मेरे दिमाग में सवाल थे जो कि अच्छा है कि हम
And I love the fact that you're asking. I must say here, I have always admired your ability to come to the point, and I've admired your candor. And I'm not saying to flatter you. I've always admired your candor. In fact, for me, you are a formidable opponent in a debate because you can express it like very few people can. So I'm glad you're asking the question because I'm bit from the same stock of not dodging a question. Saying, yes, Madhuji, you have asked a question, this is the answer. And my answer is based on facts.
Okay, let's get a few things clarified. Firstly, आपने जो बात बताई कि all these institutions, see, Indian Institute of Science indeed is the most premier institution और जब भी कोई ranking होती है, via Indian Institute of Science is right at the top, no doubt about it. परंतु आपने जो कहा कि they've handed them over to कितने बड़े बड़े नाम हैं ये, they've handed them over to the nation. और ये जो टाटा ट्रस्ट हैं, जो NGOs को भी फंड करते हैं और उनके जो सारे गेटकीपर्स हैं, वो टेस्ट ट्रेड की सोशल वर्कर्स या जो भी डेवलपमेंट वर्कर हैं और वहां पे गेटकीपर्स दे मेक श्योर दैट हिंदू बैशिंग टुकड़े टुकड़े गैंग पॉलिटिक्स इज व्हाट प्रोलिफरेट्स. और ये जो जिससे जो मैं अनुभव सुनती हूँ स्टूडेंट्स से जो उस भाव में नहीं रहना चाहते थे, उनकी जिंदगी कितनी मुश्किल हो जाती है वहां के माहौल में, इतनी टॉक्सिक हो जाती है. मोस्ट टॉक्सिक फॉर्म ऑफ Dalit politics toxic. I don't mean they are pro disadvantaged groups, but actually bringing toxic hatred between various groups. इसी वजह से हिंदू मुस्लिम सवाल पे जिस तरह का नैरेटिव चलता है जिसमें ना पैसा तो टाटा ट्रस्ट से भी आता है और इसमें आप ब्लेम कर सकते हैं वैसे इंडियन काउंसिल ऑफ सोशल साइंस रिसर्च को भी, क्योंकि पैसे वो भी दे रहे हैं, उनको कोई परवाह नहीं कि उनकी सारी सोशल साइंस रिसर्च इंस्टीट्यूशन टुकड़े टुकड़े गैंग मास प्रोडक्शन कर रही है फैक्ट्रीज को. तो ये तो सरकार का, भाजपा सरकार का बहुत बड़ा दोष है कि इन्होंने रिव्यू ही नहीं किया इनका पैसा कहाँ जा रहा है. परंतु टाटा ट्रस्ट तो कर सकता है कि वो क्या है उसमें और जो पैसे दे रहे हैं किस किस्म के एनजीओ को फंड करते हैं, किस किस्म का आउटपुट निकल रहा है, इवन इंटेलेक्चुअल आउटपुट, एकेडमिक आउटपुट. देयर शुड बी अ कमिटी to do that because what's coming out is giving Tata House a very bad name and I vouch for it.
Okay, excellent question. Now let me give you point by point factual response. Number one, Tata Trust do not fund NGOs. तो वो आपकी information गलत है. What Tata Trust do is they fund projects. They fund projects which have nothing to do most of the time with NGOs. For instance, the Internet Sathi project जिसका मैंने जिक्र किया, वो is a project run by people from within Tata Trust. और उसमें मधु जी कोई टुडे गैंग नहीं है, कोई कुछ नहीं है. Number one, number two, मैं आपको एक उदाहरण देता हूँ. एक आदमी थे और अभी भी हैं, प्रभात पानी. Prabhat Pani was working with Tata Tea, one of the most stellar careers he ever had. He opted out of corporate life and said, I want to work for the trust. He has been looking at a water mission. There are people who are looking on oncology. As far as oncology and cancer research is concerned, we have finest people. And there's an Indian who has been funded. That Indian who was funded is developing an accelerator, a mobile cancer accelerator, which will give you cancer treatment parameters instantly. So ये गलतफहमी है लोगों की कि Tata Trust funds NGOs. No, Tata Trust runs projects themselves precisely for the reason you mentioned. We are not a funding house. We are a house that
Suhel, I know it.
I'll tell you where the funding is. मैं आपको बोलता हूँ, funding is where there are scholarships. These scholarships are decided.
Projects जो है ना NGOs, I know because some of them come to me and some of my friends, old-time friends, have been in charge of those funding of projects to NGOs.
So to answer your question, let me explain it in detail. Suppose Madhu Kishwar is NGO, and Madhu Kishwar has decided that she will run a program of the girl child in select slums in Delhi. Then it is a project that we are funding. We are not looking at you. We are thinking that you are the best person because you are delivering that project. So the evaluation is not done on Madhu Kishwar or Madhu Kishwar's NGO. It is done on the impact study of that project that Manushi is doing for the girl child in the slums. It's a very, very clear-cut perspective. A, B. आप trustees को देखिए. These are all eminent people who don't need to make money from the trust. These are people who get paid nothing. आपको मैं बोलूं, she was there recently and she has just retired from the trust. The trust had some very eminent people. Amrita Patel, who used to run all. She's as Indian, as patriotic as anyone can get. She brought a lot of experience of the cooperatives. Today you have Vijay Singh. You have Praveen. Praveen was the former head city man. You have Noel Tata. Earlier you had Sonawala. So there is a lot, Madhuji, in terms of the trust. And let me be honest, I'm not here to praise someone, and neither have I come to bury someone to William Shakespeare and Julius Caesar. But the point is, it is very important because you run both intellectually and otherwise a program that should filter information. It should be broad-based and it should give information as information should be taken. Hence the clarifications that I'm giving.
No, it's very valuable. All said and done, I would still urge you to communicate
Of
with the
course,
powers that be
the
that
fact
they
must
should
be
do an
unmade out.
academic and political audit of this, and
That-
all these organizations that are funding projects and what outcome. I think it's really important that it's done
No, the
because the
fact
tech
that
people I know are all coming from certain orientation and they sift out. और इसका तो please academic critical audit करवाइए.
आपको एक बात बोलूं, ये ना बेगानी शादी में अब्दुल्ला दीवान हो जाएगा. हमारा उसमें कोई रोल नहीं है. टाटा का रोल मधुटी इन
नाम तो है.
अब नाम तो है.
नहीं, मैं ये सिर्फ कह रही हूँ कि देखिए अगर मानुषी के नाम से मान लीजिए हमने किसी को किसी जमाने में कुछ दिया सेटअप करके और मानुषी के नाम से बहुत टॉक्सिक पॉलिटिक्स चल रही है, तो केवल और कुछ नहीं अपने नाम को सेफगार्ड करने के लिए ये जरूर है उसका हल्का फुल्का एक एकेडमिक ऑडिट. और वहाँ जो जिस किस्म की रिपोर्ट्स मैं सुनती हूँ they are really worrisome.
I totally agree with you, and I will carry back to the limited ability of mine. I will carry back your concern. I will also carry back the fact that there is a misconception which needs to be corrected. Because मैं आपको एक बात बोलूं, when a group is as vulnerable as this, why should it have a blemish in an area over which it has no control? मैं समझ सकता हूं कि अगर उनके ऑपरेटिंग कंपनीज में ये कांड हुआ होता, पर वहां भी नहीं है. So why should they suffer a blemish when all they have done is actually give back to the nation? So I totally agree with you. I totally agree, and I will carry back this message.
अभी एक हमारे व्यूअर लिख रहे हैं, एक तो दो पॉइंट्स आए थे जो आप क्लियर कर दीजिए, बट आई रियली वांट टू गेट बैक टू द रियल इशू दैट आई वाज इनिशियली इंटरेस्टेड इन, हाउ ही बिल्ड what are the foundational values that helped him build this grand empire with a much higher level of professional ethics and most corporates observe. But coming to 2 points that were being raised, एक तो कश्मीर पे इनका स्टैंड और कॉन्फ्रेंस की थी 1990 में टाटा ने where they took a very anti-India hostile stand. कश्मीर किसी 5-star होटल में हुई होगी पता नहीं. दूसरा है टाटा fund buyers gold print, but you know all these are very left-wing kind of you know take a very hostile stand vis-a-vis the regime at play in a manner that's blind hatred. It's not issue-based. Like you criticize the government on certain issues while you may celebrate it on some others, but that's not what these fire and all these very toxic narrative runners are doing. And I'm told I didn't know. Does Tata fund them?
No, I don't think so. But I don't want to say yes or no. I don't know. I've never been brought up to say something with finality where I have a gray area or I don't have information. I will check this out.
Okay, good. So basically, what you're saying is that they created these institutions and they gifted them to the nation, and now they're not really controlling them in the way that most of us thinking. They have maybe decided to fund and support a certain kind of politics. You think that's really not the case?
So I will tell you one thing, and this you must accept from where I come because I've been around for a long time. There is no political alignment in that group. The only alignment is with the people of India and with the employees and the stakeholders. आप अगर जमशेदपुर देखें या पुणे में टाटा मोटर्स को देखें, जहां आप जाएं, you will see the cosmopolitan microcosm of a unified India which does not harbor grievances, which does not harbor ill will towards any human being, as long as merit is visible. Number one. Number two, please understand, Madhuri, that sometimes when you and I support an institution, if the institution goes rogue later, we cannot be blamed. Yes, you're right. Where you say that your name still at the door. Yes, but the fact is that suppose you take punitive measures, those measures then again boomerang. As you rightly said, we have to analyze the Tatas not in last year, not in year before, or not in 10 years. This is a group that has been around for more than a century. It's more than a century of trust. Will there be mistakes that any group make? Of course. Now, I don't know about this Kashmir meeting in 1990, and I don't know if this gentleman or lady who was mentioning it has any proof or anything. They say we have proof, but we don't know. If there is proof, discuss it. No one is shying away. Number one. Number two, you cannot question the nation-building behavior and the nation-building belief of the House of Tata. Whether it was in setting up a steel company when no Britishers supported. If you remember, even Pemberton, when the Tata Steel idea was mooted, he said, "अरे तुम लोग क्या steel industry बनाओगे? तुम लोग क्या hotel set up करोगे?" In those days, it was said that Indians and dogs not allowed. That is what prompted Jamshedji Narsingh Tata to set up Taj. Today, the Taj is a toss. Whether it's pilgrim centers, whether it's this, और या बात छोड़ी, मैं आपको कोविड के जमाने की बात बोलता हूँ, जो 2 साल, most companies, Kishore ji, most companies sacked people, put people on furlough. The Taj was producing 50,000 meals a day. It was opening its hotels for resident doctors. It was opening its hotels for nurses free of cost.
True.
You tell me, why would we do if we don't believe in India? Why would we do if we don't believe in इंसानियत? Why would we do it if we don't believe in भारतीयता? कहने की बातें तो बहुत है. भाई उन्हें कश्मीर में एक चीज थी 1990 में, या उन्हें लाख में चीज थी. आप एक गलती के लिए पूरा जो उनकी कंट्रीब्यूशन है उसको डाउट करोगे. And I want to come to the more point, given the limitation of time. When Ratan Tata took over the group, there were satraps, people who were deeply associated with the companies. Ruchi Mode with Tata Steel, Darbari Seth with Tata Tea, Mulgaonkar with Tata Motors. These were people who had built the company. Ajit Kecker with Taj. That was JRD's side. JRD created professional pros, which is my amalgamation of professionals and entrepreneurs. It gave a kick. It allowed those industries to boom. It allowed those sectors to boom. When Mr. Tata took over, when Ratan took over, his idea was 3. Number 1, we need to create a unified identity. Number 2, one culture, one Tata. Number 3, one value system, one Tata. If you remember, in about 93, 94, even the logos began to change. Then companies were told, if you use the word Tata, there should be a code of conduct, there should be a code of ethics. Then Ratan started the international expansion. When we started the international expansion, we started with basic consumer products, coffee. अभी जाके recently फिर Starbucks के साथ agreement हुआ. In the process, you bought hotels, you bought Chorus, you bought Jaguar Land Rover, you turned Jaguar Land Rover into a success. Today, Tata Motors is valued 24 billion. उसके क्या भारतीय proud नहीं होंगे? जरूर होंगे. This is a company, Jaguar Land Rover, Madurai, which Ford couldn't manage, which Ratan Tata turned down. You know why? I've been with Mr. Tata on trips to the UK. He would look at the stitching of the seats in these vehicles. One day I asked him why. He says, I want the guests, I want our customers to feel they're getting a world-class product. If you look at Tata Steel today, we have set up a plant in Kalinganagar, in Odisha. If there's politics involved, why? You set up. Modi ki baat karte hain. How did Sanad happen? Sanad happened because Mamata Banerjee behaved in the most abominable manner with Singur. Her fight was against the communists. She took her anger in Nandigram and Singur on Ratan Tata. What did Ratan Tata do? He did the honorable thing. He says, I'll never be in a place where I'm not welcome. What Narendra Modi do? He says, forget them, come to Sanad.
He sent an SMS.
He said, no, I met him. If you Google Suhel say Narendra Modi, I wrote that article in Financial Express. I met him the evening before. And he says, Ratan Tata को बोली जब पारसी नवसारी में आए थे, तो नवसारी का राजा था, उनको एक गिलास भर के दूध भेजा. पारसीज ने उसमें चीनी लाई और उसको मिक्स किया और बोला कि हम घुल मिल जाएंगे भात में. वो शुरुआत हुई पारसीज की. तो ये हिस्ट्री. Today, Ratan Tata has created an international Indian footprint empire of businesses which follow global standards and beat global standards of governance. That Madhurji would happen. Why? It is very easy for us to say, oh, they support right wing, they support left wing, support this. When Ratan Tata was invited by Bhagat ji to go to Nagpur and address the Karyakartas and the people in the RSS, तब लोगों ने चिल्लाहट नहीं की. You have to understand, the man's principles are based only on one word. It's called decency. The synonym for that in his mind is dignity. That's who he is.
True.
And that whole thing happened with Cyrus Mystery, October 24, 2016. Ratan Tata walked up to him. 2012, Ratan Tata retired, December 28. From then till October 24, 2016, Madhuri, he did not enter Bombay House, even though he was chairman emeritus. When he entered Bombay House, he went to Cyrus Mystery in the chairman's office and said, the board has lost trust in you. He says, please remain on the board, but not the chairman. Now, again,
no, there's no doubt. If
you manipulate, next day, October 25th, 9-page letter came out from Cyrus Mystery's office, making all kinds of allegations, abuse. So, the point I'm making is, suppose Manushi had some gila shikwa, or had some anger, or had some venomous quality, I have attacked. What did Ratan Tata do? From 2016 till March 23 last year, जब वो Supreme Court की judgment आई, he didn't open his mouth. He did not make one comment. He says, I will not say anything. Let the Supreme Court decide. Let the judges of this country decide. You think he couldn't have passed a comment? Of course he would have passed a comment. How did N. Chandrasekharan behave as chairman of Tatas? In the same vitrat, the same lineage, the same pedigree. It is not in there. You see, you might think, oh, I'm an avowed lover and unabashed admirer. No, I can see this clinically. I advise multiple CEOs, so I can see the difference they bring, the advantages they bring, the nationalism they bring. And that's important.
fully agree. There is none to match his integrity, personal integrity and decency. None to match. There is no flamboyance like we know some of these corporates. वो कितना flamboyant spending करते हैं, कितने 75 माले के घर बनाते हैं, कितनी प्रॉपर्टी दुनिया भर में बना रहे हैं अपने wealth को, उसको छोड़. He doesn't do that. He lives as he did maybe 30-40 years ago.
Madhuri, all his life lived in an apartment in Batavar, 1800 square feet.
I know.
अच्छा, you can never have dinner with him because उसके घर में आपको एक गोभी का पीस मिलेगा, एक ब्रोकली मिलेगी, एक ही खाना भी कम खा रहे हैं. He doesn't drink, he doesn't smoke, he drives himself. He has never allowed anyone to carry his bag. Yes, he's never allowed anyone to carry his bag at airports. आजकल आज के जमाने में कोई एयरपोर्ट है, इतना अगर कोई अमीर हो या powerful हो, he will ask an old loader कि मेरा छोटा सा बैग कैरी करो शोश के लिए. Doesn't do
अच्छा,
that.
अब मैं कुछ और सवाल जो मेरे कंसर्न है, इसमें कोई और रानी जो भी इंस्टीट्यूशंस इन्होंने बनाई, the attempt was to create a certain class in them, and in TFR or Indian Institute of Science are great examples. This, of course, is an eyesore, a heartburn for not just me, but you can see how many people are ranting against it. But forget that for the moment. कैंसर पे हॉस्पिटल्स इतने बनाए, सारे जो एलोपैथी ट्रीटमेंट वाले, तो ये आप भी मानेंगे एलोपैथी में किसी चीज का इलाज नहीं है, ना कैंसर का, ना डायबिटीज का, ना किडनी फेलियर का. दे ओनली डू सिम्प्टोमेटिक मैनेजमेंट. इलाज है तो ब्रॉडली स्पीकिंग जो फ्रेमवर्क हम बोलते हैं योग और आयुर्वेद का जो कंबाइन है, which also means lifestyle change. You don't just खूब खा लो, कच्चा कर लो, फिर तीनों पी लो. ये हमारा आयुर्वेद सिस्टम वो अलाउ नहीं करता. वो आपको खाने पे पहले नियंत्रण बताएगा, और जो इलाज कैंसर का भी हमें आता दिखता है वो है. I don't see any investment by this house, despite all their deep patriotism. रतन टाटा का कमिटमेंट टू इंडिया आई डोंट, बट कहीं भी इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम्स में नहीं इन्वेस्टमेंट हुआ. कहीं भी संस्कृत प्रमोशन या हमारी भाषाओं के प्रमोशन, ही could easily have set up a world class university. I can still do it for study of India's own heritage and languages. बहुत neglected. और आयुर्वेद का भी अगर बाबा रामदेव और पतंजलि जो उन्होंने सिद्ध करके दिखाया है कोविड के जमाने में भी, believe you me, I didn't take vaccine. I relied only on पतंजलि का कोरोना. It worked always like magic. वायरल हुआ ने टेस्ट भी कराया, I just took पतंजलि का कोरोनिल and और कुछ का. Now the point I'm making is, we know that Ayurveda has answers. Why doesn't Mr. Ratan Tata now create a world-class institution for studying Indian knowledge traditions? ये सरकार नहीं कर पा रही, ये टाटा ही कुछ कर सके ऐसा. और संस्कृत के लिए वर्ल्ड क्लास लोग शिकागो क्यों पढ़ने आए, संस्कृत हाइडेलबर्ग क्यों पढ़ने आए, बीएचयू को भी इतना स्टम्प्ड रखा है. इट्स ही कांट एनीमोर क्लेम टू बी वर्ल्ड क्लास इंस्टीट्यूशन फॉर संस्कृत स्टडीज. आयुर्वेद और इंडियन नॉलेज सिस्टम, उसमें टेक्नोलॉजी भी आती है, उसमें बहुत सी चीजें आती हैं. Why doesn't Mr. Ratan do?
I love you for asking that question again. The Tatas have not been able to communicate because their ideology is to be under radar. Have you heard of Ayurveda Shala AVS? AVS is doing remarkable work in the field of Ayurveda. They're doing three things. They're doing clinical, they're doing diagnostic, and they're doing therapy. Chandrasekharan, who is lovingly called Chanda, who's the current chairman of Tata Sons, has ensured a tie-up between AVS and the Taj. All Jiva spas in hotels. And when I say spas, it is not luxury because a lot of people are coming. All of them have Ayurvedic stream. पर जो आपको अभी कहने वाला वो आप हैरान होंगे. The Tatas funded the first Ayurvedic center for healing in Kerala. आपको मालूम है? That's my point. This is my point. नेगी का कुएं में डाल. That center run by the Taj was the first center before Kerala became an important tourism destination. That center is only devoted to Ayurveda and Ayurvedic treatments. It is also about holistic living and wellness, as you rightly say. Coming to the point of cancer.
एक मिनट बात कर लेते हैं. जैसे टाटा ने वर्ल्ड क्लास वेल्थ का चेन दिया हिंदुस्तान को, वर्ल्ड क्लास आयुर्वेदिक सेंटर्स का चेन दे, इसलिए नहीं क्योंकि हमारे देश में 2% से भी कम आयुर्वेद पे खर्चा हो रहा है.
नहीं मधु जी, मैं आपकी बात से पूरी तरह सहमत हूं. I think it's a great idea. I carry back this idea. I think it's a superb idea. It's a superb idea, and it is also an idea in my mind which promotes not only India but it promotes the Indian way of living and the Indian way of lifestyle reformation. So I think it's a superb idea. We'll carry that back. There's no question.
आप कुछ कहते हैं, अपनी माँ का बताने जा रहे थे.
नहीं, I lost my other cancer. Cancer has three basic streams. One is obviously preventive. A lot of us in our country do not adopt the preventive thing. हमारी आदत हो गई है कि भाई जब तक disease हमें hit नहीं करती, we don't even go for testing. They have created three verticals: preventive, diagnostic, and treatment. In treatment, Madhur, you'll be shocked. A lot of people from rural India, they come in their stage 3 and stage 4. What do you offer them? You offer them sahanabhuti, you offer them empathy, but most importantly, you offer them defined palliative care. Palliative care where the families are also involved. तो मैं आपको एक उदाहरण देता हूँ. Many years ago, maybe 2011, 2010, we set the Tata Medal set in Calcutta. Why? Please understand, at that time, Mamta was fighting us. We had been thrown out. Now, if he was politically inclined, he would have Goli Maro. But Eastern India was totally neglected for cancer care. In Tata Medical Center, जब वो medical center बना, वो building बनी, उसके साथ एक और building बनी. That building is a hostel, a beautiful hostel, not luxury, but insignificant. क्यों? Because attendants had to come with the patient. They need a place to stay and not an expensive place where they spend money. That's number one. Number two, the late C.K. Prahlad, often known as the management guru, inspired the Tatas to create Ginger. You know, the cheapest hotel chain in the thing. Because we needed people to get to hotels which are cheap, but which are totally functional. And it was the entire bottom of the pyramid theory. So there are a lot of work. आप और मेरे बीच में तो 2 या 2.5 घंटे की बात हो सकती है. And some of the issues you have raised, I'm grateful for. Some of the observations you have made, I'm grateful for. Because these observations, until they're made, they don't fall in anyone's जहन में नहीं आती. भाई हाँ, मधु जी ने ये भी बात की थी, या उसका उदाहरण दिया था, या इस बात की चर्चा की थी. So, I mean, as we come towards the end of the program,
No, अभी एंड नहीं आया, क्योंकि 2 सवाल मेरे पास और भी है.
पूछिए.
आपने ये माना कि अगर टाटास वर्ल्ड क्लास चेन ऑफ आयुर्वेदिक क्लिनिक्स और अफोर्डेबल ट्रीटमेंट होता है, बहुत अफोर्डेबल होता है, और क्योंकि डायग्नोस्टिक आप कह रहे हो ना, स्टेज 3 4 पे आते हैं, उसका बड़ा कारण है कि जो आम डॉक्टर है डायग्नोस भी नहीं कर पाते, और आयुर्वेद प्रिवेंटिव मोर देन इज इवन, यू नो. सो एक तो ये आप माने कि वर्ल्ड क्लास,
I agree. I will carry back this message.
हाँ, वाला क्लिनिक के जैसे एक मॉडल खड़ा करें and they can do it.
I will carry back.
I would like to carry this message at a world class university. That would be it. जो नालंदा की स्पिरिट से चले, तो बनाई गई थी अमर्त्य सेन के टाइम में, was a caricature of farce. And I don't think BJP government has put it together. But which revives the knowledge-seeking knowledge traditions of India. और उसमें हाँ सर, भारतीय भाषाओं पे एक ट्रांसलेशन बहुत बढ़िया एक दूसरी भाषा में हो, और दूसरा इनकी स्टडी का इंतजाम हो. आज आप ये अगर करते हैं, this should be his permanent legacy, and it should become a role model of what civilizational resurgence means to
I think it's a great idea.
traditional
I think both the writers are splendid. I promise you, I will carry them back. And you know me, Madhuri, I deliver my promise, and I promise these will carry back.
एक और छोटा सा कैरी बैक करो. अभी देखो आज आ रहा है, बहुत छोटा है, ये उनके उसमें फिट बैठेगा. You know very well प्लास्टिक से कितना नुकसान हो रहा है. अभी तो ब्लड स्ट्रीम में भी जा रहा है. प्लास्टिक is ruining our soil, is ruining our water, is ruining our food chain, everything. अब ये बार-बार कहते हैं प्लास्टिक का कोई अल्टरनेटिव नहीं. मैं ये मानने को तैयार नहीं कि इसका कोई अल्टरनेटिव नहीं हो सकता, जो उतना ही या उतना ही कन्वीनियंट हो. और ये बता ली कि मैंने इस बात से बाबा रामदेव से भी बहुत बहस की कि आप आई ड्रॉप्स भी पहले शीशे में आती थी, अब प्लास्टिक दे रहे हैं. इमेजिन प्लास्टिक के कण आ रहे हैं मेरी आंखों में भी.
I will tell you what the Tatas are doing. मैं किसी और बारे में जानती है नहीं मुझे, but Prime Minister Modi has done one remarkable thing. Single-use plastic has been banned in India. Long before Madhuri, single-use plastic was banned, all customer-facing companies within the house of Tata had already obliterated plastic. Today, अगर आप आज में जाएं, किसी भी होटल में जाएं, आप उनके दफ्तरों में जाओ, you will not see plastic. So much so that we had launched a brand called Himalayan, which is a mineral water. Today, that is also available in glass. तो जो आपने चिंता व्यक्त की है और जो आपने सुझाव दिए हैं, those have been implemented, but yes, it is work in progress. मैं आपको झूठ नहीं बोलूंगा कि सारा कुछ सब ठीक कुशल मंगल है, but it's work in progress. I'll only tell you that the House of Tatas were the early adopters, even before it became a law.
True, but I'm saying research करके उसको alternative ढूंढना. तो मेरे घर में मैं प्लास्टिक नहीं आने देती जहाँ तक मेरे लिए संभव, but that's not a solution. तो if fundamental research में हो सकती है TR4 के माध्यम से.
You know, I'm not aware. Madhuri, I'm not aware.
It's a game changer for India.
No, I'm not aware, but knowing Chandra as I do, Chandra is an extremely sensitive person with an engineering background. I'm sure it is already uppermost as a priority in his mind, and I'm sure they're already addressing it. To be honest, as I said to you earlier, जिस पे मुझे जानकारी नहीं है, उस पे मैं अपना वक्तव्य प्रकट नहीं कर सकता. But I can tell you कि जिस चीजों का आपने what you've said, those will be carried back with tenacity, purposefulness, and ferocity.
I'm so happy to hear that, and honestly, I'm so glad that we were able to clarify a lot of misunderstandings. एक हमारे जो वो कश्मीर के जो सवाल उठा रहे थे, वो कह रहे मैंने आपको पीडीएफ भेजा, देखो भाई लाइव प्रोग्राम में अब अपना ईमेल खोल के रिसीव करूँ, फिर मैं सुहेल करूँ, प्लीज़ don't make unreasonable expectation of me, but I will certainly send forward a mail to Suhel, and if he knows anything about it, he'll get back, and I'll let you know about it. But it's been a pleasure talking to you, Suhel.
Madhuri, I
And
must thank you. I must thank you for, and I again don't mean to flatter you. I must thank you for your impartiality, but equally your tenacity. I must thank you for exploring the vicissitudes, the vistas of the Tatas. मैं आपको सिर्फ एक बात कहूंगा. There are very few things that we're proud of in India,
yeah,
and there are only two ways of going forward. One is we use that pride as inspiration, or we belittle that pride as cynics. My advice to the young of today is देश में इतनी खूबियां, इस देश का संस्कार इतना बढ़िया है, इस देश की संस्कृति इतनी बढ़िया है. आप हर वक्त ये मत सोचिए कि भारत में ये बुराई है, ये बुराई है, ये बुराई है. जो अच्छाइयां हैं उसका मापदंड करिए, जो अच्छाइयां हैं उनको आप एम्ब्रेस करिए, तभी भारत एक सुपर पावर बनेगा. सुपर पावर इन मिलिट्री टर्म्स, बट एज यू से इवन इन योर प्रोग्राम इन सेरिब्रल टर्म्स, the world is ruled only by people who can lead from the mind. Military तो सबके पास है, mind very few have. And Tagore said it beautifully. It is not about the mind alone, but the mind being without fear, the head being held high, and into that heaven of freedom, all of us walking together, irrespective of caste, creed, and gender.
true. और एक लाइन ऐड करूंगी कि आज का जो जमाना है या भारत का जो पिछले 1000 साल अनुभव है, वो बताता है कि शास्त्र which is knowledge के साथ शस्त्र होना भी बहुत जरूरी है.
Yeah, I
और
agree.
उसके बगैर फ्री भी नहीं रह सकते, क्योंकि हमको जिस टेरर में जीना पड़ा है. Lost the entire
No, I
civilization,
totally agree.
genius and versatility. Today we are in ruins. I mean, civilizationally, we are very badly wounded,
But
very
I will,
badly
I will leave you with one last sentence.
जी,
And here there is a commonality between Ratan Tata and India. And I love both. Obviously, I love my country more than anything else. India is not a nation. Like Hinduism is not a religion. Indianness is a way of life. We have to remember we are a civilizational legacy. जिसका आपने अभी उदाहरण दिया, वो civilizational legacy we are not citizens of, we are custodians. Just like Ratan Tata was a remarkable, continues to be a remarkable custodian of the house that he built and the house that he continues to invest in with character, with certitude, and with finality.
I fully agree with you, but now we want to see him invest in civilizational heritage issues and strengthening
Done.
knowledge traditions, traditional knowledge.
Done.
Thank you, Suhel. Pleasure
Thank you.
talking to you.
Lovely.
And we have you more often. Every time we want some knowledge from that side of the fence, which most of us know very little about. And
I would be delighted to. It's an honor to be in conversation with you, as I always said, and thank you for having me.
Okay, viewers, I'm sure many of your misunderstandings are clarified. We'll have more sessions with Suhel if there are other issues you want to discuss with him. और इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ मैं आपसे विदाई लेती हूँ, आगे लेती हूँ. Please do share, subscribe and support this channel. और मुझे फीडबैक देना है तो मेरा ये ईमेल एड्रेस, मैं हर मेल को पर्सनली अटेंड करती हूँ, एंड आई टेक योर सजेशंस एंड योर फीडबैक वेरी सीरियसली. सो इन्हीं शब्दों
Thank
के
you so
साथ
much.
जी, थैंक यू, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद
And
सुहेल.
thank you to all your viewers. I respect every comment, contrarian, cynical, bitter, honest, because I think that is why this country is so great. We have the right to disagree without being disagreeable, and that's what we essentially should.